Hi, Todd VanDenburg here with VanDenburg Capital Management and another Uncommon Sense update. So in the past week, we've started to get some data in to show, what the real impact is of all these shelter-in-place orders and, the economic impact of, the spread of the coronavirus. And we're seeing financial services companies report revenues down 45%. We just got a report today. Retail sales for the month of March was down 8.7%, which, to be perfectly honest, I thought it was going to be worse than that. So I'll take 8.7%, but we'll see what happens when we get our April data because, it's probably going to be bad for April too. What we're also seeing is that there's, some real data coming in showing that small businesses are really being hurt by this. 7.5 million small businesses are already on the verge of closing, and not just shutting down for the duration of this emergency, but forever. And the longer that we stay shut down, the larger that number gets. So it is sort of critically important that we get more information from our elected officials, which sort of brings me to the point of today's update. So I've been struggling with this for, a couple of weeks as we start to contemplate, what does reopening up the country look like? And as I would listen to our elected officials talk about, what their goals are, Governor Newsom just came out with some information, and it appears the White House is going to be coming out with some information here shortly. But what I generally hear people talk about are things like we want to flatten the curve. We want to reduce the impact on our healthcare systems so that they're not overwhelmed by lots of patients that are really sick and then we don't have the ability to treat them. We want to reduce the death rate, things like that. And what troubles me about those kinds of statements, they're really great objectives, but they're not very tangible. And so that's what I'm sort of counseling everybody to be thinking about now is every time you hear somebody talk about, what we think we're going to be doing, whether it's, your local government, state government, federal government, you want to ask yourself, how do we measure that? It's really the most important thing. So let's take flattening the curve. What exactly does that mean? So we've been losing approximately 2,000 people a day have been dying to the coronavirus. So if you flatten a curve, right, so you go like this and then you flatten, does that mean that if we remain, losing 2,000 people a day, that we've achieved the objective and we can open up the economy? I don't think anybody actually thinks that. But again, the phrase flatten the curve is just not specific. It's not helping people get a grasp on what their futures look like. And this future uncertainty is what's causing so much, one of the things that's causing so much market volatility. So again, as you're hearing these things from our elected officials and from your friends and relatives, just, try to have conversations and dialogues where we ask questions about, well, what does it mean? So in order for us to open up at the local level or state or federal level, well, we know flattening the curve isn't going to be it. So what is it? At what number of fatalities or new coronavirus cases is the right number to start opening things up again? And please don't think that what I'm saying here is that we should be trading lives for economic activity. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm asking is for people to have a little more, curiosity about what our government's doing and why. How are they making these decisions, and what data are they using to come up with these decisions that they're making to shut everything down or open everything up? So I don't think flattening the curve means being satisfied with 2,000 people dying a day, but we need to ask them, what does it mean? Because if you think about it, if the government decides that the goal is we will not open things up until we have 0 deaths per day from coronavirus. Again, I don't think that's going to be the goal either, but let's just go with me on this. If that's the goal, they should tell everybody right now, because it's going to take a long time. It could take 12 to 18 months until we actually have some sort of a treatment that guarantees that either people that get the virus don't die, or we have some sort of a vaccine that will, inoculate people from getting it so we don't have people that die. So if that's going to take 12 to 18 months, and that's really the goal, then shouldn't they tell us so that people that are, I don't know, investing in their 401ks with every paycheck, shouldn't they make a decision about, well, gee, if we're going to keep the government and keep economic activity so constrained for 12 to 18 months, maybe the best place to put my money is not in the stock market right now. And as a guy who helps people with their investments for a living, I'd like to know too. I'd like to know, how long is this going to last, and what goals and objectives are we aiming at, measurable, tangible objectives, so that I can make appropriate investment decisions either to buy more or to sell more on behalf of my clients. So again, the point of today's update is we're coming to a point where we're going to be told things about what it looks like to open things up again. And I just would like us all to be a little more inquisitive about what does it mean specifically. Don't accept any of these broad sweeping statements that sound good but can't be measured. Because without the ability to measure, or know what measurements are going to drive these decisions, then the rest of the country can't make decisions about how to properly utilize their resources, be it cash or investment resources, to their own best outcome. So if anybody has any questions about this or their own personal financial situation, any questions about the CARES Act, the Paycheck Protection Program, the economic injury disaster loans, please give me a call. I'd be happy to answer any questions. I'm here 5 days a week, 11 hours a day, and I'm happy to help in any way that I can. That was your update. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give us a like, give us a share, and I'll be back next week with another Uncommon Sense update. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to be the first to hear of more Uncommon Sense updates like these, please click the subscribe button below. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks again.